So I will say this about my favorite basketball team. If they didn't have bad luck, they wouldn't have luck.
Oh, man, I don't want to talk about this. Damn it!
So on the court, the Hawks lost their 6th straight last night.
They were above 500.
They were 3 games up, and they were trending in the right direction. And I said on that day, I just want to see the full core together for 30 games. Let me just see what it looks like. Let's keep a healthy Trey. Let's see a healthy Dyson, Jalen, all of them. Let's just see what it looks like, because it could be pretty good. Well, last night, the Hawks played without Capella, Reza Shea, Bogey, and Jalen Johnson. And today, we found out Jalen Johnson has suffered a torn labrum in his left shoulder. He is done for the rest of the season.
He's done. He's shot.
Team shot.
Team shot.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago, and you made a point that the actual takeaway from the draft, the Hawks did better than the Pels. Mm-hmm. They got Zion, that same draft, 19 picks later, was it? Was he
correct.
20 over?
He was number 20.
They get Jalen Johnson. I talked back in the day. I didn't know anything about him. I'd watched like 3 games at Ohio State, right?
Was it Duke?
Oh, Duke. I'm sorry, Duke. And I was like, all right, I'm buying rookie cards of this kid. And so I got in for a decent amount, and he sat and he watched, and he sat and he watched, and he sat and he watched, and then he started playing, and he looked really athletic, and then he just blossomed. Kaboom. He's a star. He's not a Trey-level star. Like, he's a start every night, and he can give you 20. He is athletic as hell, and he's out for the rest of the year.
There's a triple-double in him almost every night. See, here's
awful.
Here's what I talked about maybe yesterday or the day before on the show. That when the Braves lose Ronald Acuna, it's supposed to knock you down to the point where you can't get up. When the Braves lose Spencer Strider, well, that's supposed to be the death knell. When the Braves lose Austin Riley and Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris, and the Brave fan was piping mad last summer. God, this team isn't what I was supposed to be. Yeah, well, they weren't because they broke. But they still managed to have one of the better records in the NL and get to the postseason. They weren't going to win a championship, but they got to the postseason. The Hawks, the Falcons, they're not built to deal with the adversity. And I know it's a smaller roster, and all those things are not the same. The Jalen Johnson injury, there's nothing the Hawks have on the roster that could fill that spot. Now, could they go out and make a deal? They could. That's not the Tony Ressler way. Trade deadline comes up a week from Thursday. It's February 6th. Here's how you know the direction they're going. They sat Bogey 2 nights in a row for personal reasons, which means we don't want to get him hurt. He's dealing with a knee injury. We're listening to all trade offers, and for the best thing, we're going to move him. Then last night, minutes before the game, Clint Capella has back spasms, which is one of those things you couldn't prove if they're telling the truth or not.
No, the back is the one you always you can go to.
My back just spasmed. Okay.
I think oblique, too.
So it sounds like he's the next because his contract is movable, and those 2 guys could go. Now that Jalen's out, you could say, well, do we go completely into tank mode? Well, you might have no choice. It's not like this team is just so deep in other ways that you've lost 6 in a row. You were a team that was in the 6th spot in the East. You were a game and a half out of the 4. You felt good about Trey and Dyson and Jalen and Onyeka and Hunter. And now a week later, you're sitting 2 of your core pieces. You're probably going to trade them. Jalen's lost for the year. I will repeat, if that team didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck.
Was Onyeka 5th overall or 8th overall, or what was he?
Onyeka was 6.
Okay, so very high pick.
I'm an insider.
And he's turned into... He's a really good ball player. And
this year, he finally blossomed.
He can start, and whatever. He's a really good ball player.
By the way, they're 0-6 since he moved in the starting lineup.
Jalen's a star, and Jalen is one of those guys that is fun to watch. And if you check in every so often, then you may see a highlight play. Losing him can change the trajectory of the season, even with Trey here.
When is my basketball team ever going to get the good luck? Because I thought we had good luck. We got Jalen. Oh, my God, we got him 20th. That's good luck.
Got the first overall pick.
Yes, we did get the pick. I'll wait for
He's hurt too.
Reza Shea. I'll wait for him to turn into something.
Back, yeah.
That's fine. But even when we get the good luck, it's now offset by the bad luck if I lose Jalen for the year. One day I'll know what it's like to see my team in the NBA Finals. I don't know when that day will come. Although I'm running out of seasons. I say this, I'm 47.
It's not going to happen.
Listen, I could die at 50. I could die at 55. I'm never going to see them playing in NBA Finals.
Something really unusual happened as well. There was a legitimately everyone accepted top-tier coach, unemployed, who had options. That guy doesn't choose Atlanta. He doesn't choose the Hawks. That guy chose the Hawks. You got the guy. You got Quinn Snyder. You got the one that could have had one of 5 jobs. He chose here. Whereas Budenholzer was like, yeah, I want to get out of here. I'm going to Milwaukee.
I would rather be in Milwaukee. He won a championship. And I'm stuck here. One day, No, I give up. That's not going to happen. I'll never see them.
When you were 26 and you said it, it sounded different.
It did. It hit a little different.
I've got forever. Of course it'll happen.
So I was 10, and I thought they had an NBA Finals team.
Oh, the Boston thing?
Yeah, the Boston thing. When I have Dominique and when I have Doc and I have all, I'm like, okay, we have an NBA Finals kind of a thing. And that was almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Goodness.